let's dive into our today's session. Okay. So before I begin with what is cloud, let us see that how cloud actually came into play in today's world. Okay. Before there was cloud, there was some other computing terms in the IT world. Like the first one was mainframe computing. Mainframe computing is actually you can say the batch computing. Wrote your program in a file and it was then feed it into a server and it gave us output. This was basically the early stage of our computing era, the mainframe computing or the batch computing. Then we had personal computing. Basically, that means one user they will have their each PC, their own personal PC or laptop. After personal, then we had the concept of network computing. What happens here? That every computer in the LAN will be connected to each other. This was the direct connection between the personal computer. This was the version of network computing. Then after that, in the market, here comes the play of internet computing. Internet computing, what happens? That yes, you have a PC, and this PC is connected to an internet, and through the internet we are connected with other PC or server. Okay. Then after that, here comes the concept of grid computing or the you can say cluster computing. In the cluster computing, okay, each PC is connected with each other. I'm really sorry about my drawing. Please bear with me. They shared power and resources. Okay, they shared power and resources. And after that, finally, we came into our cloud section. It is also kind of like grid computing, but there's a key difference, which is you can scale the resources, and there's another term. I will get into it just a moment. Scale the resources. Okay. Okay. Now, this was the era of cloud computing, and this was the whole, network architecture, how cloud came into today's world. And cloud, this is the fundamental concept, but cloud is actually built on two other concepts, which is SOA, service-oriented architecture, service-oriented architecture. Now, what's that? I'm going to tell you soon. And another one is utility-based computing. Computing. Now, what is SOA? SOA actually service-oriented. Actually, that means you are getting a service. Client service model. If you're from a IT background, you should obviously have the client server architecture model that there will be client, a user, and he will be or she will be getting a service from a server. There's a client server model. Now, what is utility based computing? It's actually kind of like SOA, but you have to pay for the service that you are getting, like the utility of your home, like you are paying for the water, your electricity bill, and other utility that you are using on your home, and you pay for it, right? The utility bills. So like that, you will also be paying for the services that you are getting. This is actually the concept of utility-based computing. So if you combine these two concepts, SOA and utility-based computing, and this architecture also, we can say the cloud computing is a computing term that you get a service over the internet. Obviously, it's a key term. You get a service over the internet from a remote location server, which hardware you may or may not, which hardware you may not, which hardware you won't be, it is not owned by you. It is owned by a third party, some party. You are getting a service over the internet from a third party. You may own the application or not, you may rent the application, or you may rent the software, rent it from another third party, but the hardware, it won't be owned by you. It will be some other third party will be, providing you the service over the internet. If you consume it, you are in a architecture like this, you can basically say that you are in a cloud computing architecture. You are using cloud, like let's say the Google Drive, the G Drive, right? You have G Drive on your phone. You store your files, your photos, but what happens? You can you cannot access the hardware of the Google Drive, but you just paying, or in the free term, yes, you don't have to pay. You just put your files and folders, your favorite photos and files, important files, and that's it. This is actually a cloud service, a storage as a service. Okay, but there's another key term of the cloud. You can scale this. You can scale resources on cloud. Let's say your Google Drive, I think initially 15 GB gives us free. Let's say it's full. Now you have to scale it. You can pay some money, and you can scale it. I think first one is 100 GB. So this is one of the cool feature of cloud. You can not only just for the storage, every other services that you get access on the internet, you get access from the cloud. It is scalable, like I have told you here, right? You can scale the resources on the cloud, and it is also shared. Now another cool feature is the resources that you use. They are highly optimized. They are optimized, and they are very economical, and they don't get wasted. Like, let's say you are a one person. You uh, Okay, let's say you are one person. You buy a server, let's say for 200K. You buy a server and you are using it for your application. You're hosting your application on the server, and after a year, you just see that only 30% of the resources is in the use. You just wasted 70% of the resources. But what if you rent out these 70% of the resources and you could make some money, right? So it's also a very cool feature of the cloud that you can share your resources or rent out your resources to other, persons. You have own a server, but you are renting out the resources, the RAM, the storage, the computational CPU power. You are renting it out. This is cloud. Okay. So I have covered here that what is cloud and why we should also use cloud. This is I have just told you that yeah, it's optimized. It is optimized and okay. Sorry, I just got a call. It is optimized and the resources are shared and economical. But you can also have your dedicated resource that you want. We will get into that in the section of public cloud and private cloud. But just for the moment, just bear with me. Okay. So this was the part that what is cloud. I think you got it. And why should you use cloud? I've also mentioned it. Now let's see what are the providers in the market right now. Okay. So for the providers, we have GCP, Google Cloud, then we have Azure from Microsoft, then we have AWS. I think we have all heard about these three cloud providers, Amazon Web Service. But other than these three, we also have Linode, then comes Alibaba, then we have, I think, IBM, yes, IBM, then we also have Huawei Cloud. So you can see if you search on the net, you will see these cloud providers on the market right now. But whatever the service they provide, it may varies from name to name, but the underlying concept of the services are all the same. Like I think in GCP for virtual machine, I think you have all have used virtual machine some of the time in your life in one time. I'm sure. So in virtual machine, they give server, virtual servers on the GCP. I think called compute resources, compute engine. I think compute engine. Then in Azure it is called VM. In AWS it is called EC2 instance. Then I think in Huawei it is called, I think, ECS. Then so you can see that basically they are all providing the same service in under the different names. So if you learn any one of the cloud, you will actually get to play. You will actually have the knowledge of other clouds as well. So it's very easy. Don't get afraid. You just start with any one cloud. You learn about the services, how they're actually providing the services, and what is the underlying structure, and you will get the gist of other services as well, other system providers as well. Now let's go into the public cloud and versus private cloud. Okay. So public cloud is basically just have to yeah, your provider, let's say CSP, cloud service provider. He has a server, a data center. Okay, a data center has a lot of servers. So he's a server. He is providing, let's say, multiple people resources from the same server. This is actually the concept of public cloud. Okay, this is public. You are you are getting service from the same hardware, but it is logically divided. Now there is a concept of virtualization. I will give a very short intro. No worries. These are physically hardware servers, but they are logically divided through the virtualization software, something like hypervisor and other virtualization software, and they are divided among other services, other users. So this is the concept of public cloud, that you share resources. But in the term of private cloud, your you can ask your CSP to provide you with a dedicated server only for you. Obviously, it's gonna cost you more than the public cloud. They are providing you a dedicated server, right? So this is the basic concept of public and private cloud. Now to logically divide. Okay, now here comes the part of virtualization. Okay, in the cloud is also the core heart. The heart of cloud, you can say it's virtualization technique. Heart of cloud. In today's world, you will see cloud in almost everything. Like the Gmail you are using, it is also a cloud service. It's actually SaaS product. Now I'll get into that later. Okay, the heart of the cloud is virtualization. Okay, there are many kind of virtualization for hardware. If you're using virtual machine and everything, if you want to create a virtual machine from a server, you will use a hypervisor hypervisor which logically divide your hardware. Let's say you have a 300 gigabytes of RAM, 30 core CPU on your server, and you want to divide that among 10 people, sorry, 15 people. So each people will get two cores of CPU, and okay, I get it. Each people will get only 2 cores of CPU and 20 GB of RAM. So how can it be possibly? How can it be possible? You use a hypervisor, like there are many kind of hardware virtualization hypervisor, right? VMware ESXi, then we have KVM, then Zen. So these are the some popular hypervisor for type 1 hypervisor. Obviously, remember the type 1 hypervisor works on on the server itself. The other virtualization software that you use on your PC, like the VMware VirtualBox, or the VMware or the VirtualBox that you use on your PC, they are the type 2 hypervisor. That means they need to be installed on an operating system. Then you can use it. But for the type 1, you can just directly install it on the server. Then we have storage virtualization. That is, you can, for hardware virtualization, we have these three. But for storage virtualization, we have, I think, Cinder. To virtualize the storage, there are three types of storage. I'm not going to go deeper into that, but you can take notes. You can search for yourself. There are block storage, then file storage, and I think the other one was block storage, file storage, and the object storage. Okay. So these three are the main type of storage on cloud. You can search on the net. Then we have network virtualization, network to virtually, logically dividing your resources from other resources. That's why we need network virtualization. We have Neutron. I think Neutron is one of the software to virtualize network. Then we have another type of virtualization, OS virtualization, operating system itself. It is actually the concept of containerization application like the Docker, Docker or Kubernetes case. Docker or Kubernetes, they virtualize the operating system itself for your application to run, microservices. So operating system itself gets virtualized. Then I think there are what other virtualization? Oh, then website virtualization. Like there are some providers like WordPress and other websites. They give you the freedom to choose your website layouts. You can select your layouts, and they will. If you combine the layouts together, you will have a full-fledged website. So I think term you can say it's an website virtualization. So these are the main virtualization, but mainly in the cloud we use hardware virtualization and hardware virtualization, then storage virtualization, network virtualization. So these three are the main concept. And okay, so this was the concept of virtualization and other thing. Okay, now services. Okay, so I think okay, services for the services I will get into that in the career part. Okay, I'm not gonna take long. Okay, now let's see what are the carriers. Okay, what are the carriers in the market for cloud provider in the cloud right now? Okay, the first one is, let's say, from the job I'm doing, see cloud solution architecture, cloud solution architect, cloud solution architect. Okay, cloud solution architect, what they does, they give. I've already told you that each CSP has bunch of services, right? But how are you going to use that? A cloud solution architecture, what he does or what she does, that you have you get a client and they will give you a requirement. Let's say your client has a web server, a web application, and the client wants to deploy this web application on your cloud environment. And now you have to create a solution with high availability, that how can your client deploy this server on your on your cloud platform with high availability and security. Let's say just for a simple project, you will create for this web app to deploy on your cloud platform. You will create a virtual VPC, virtual private cloud, or a virtual network. Then under that, you will need a subnet one, then there's subnet two. On this subnet, you have okay. Let me okay. On this subnet, you have EC2. On this one, you have RDS service. Okay, and on this one, some type of, let's say, backup service. And here you have a NAT service for accessing the internet, your internet. Okay. So what will you will design this solution like this, that this EC2, this VM will have the application running, which will be connected to this database RDS service, and both of them will be backed up in this backup service, and this NAT only will be associated with the subnet one. That means only this, where our application is running, this will only have the access to the internet. But I don't want to expose my RDS with the internet. So this way my database will be secure, right? So what I'm providing, there's service one, a VPC. VPC actually is free. Then ECS one. Then you have RDS service 4, 5. So you see, I'm giving 5 services from my cloud platform. I'm providing 5 services to give one solution, that how can I deploy my web app? How can I deploy my client web app on my cloud platform? So this is what actually a cloud solution architect does. So this one goes now, and the second you can say cloud architect. Now this is very advanced. I'm actually currently learning more about this because I want to learn how to create private cloud. Public cloud is good. Public cloud has all the services and you give, you give a solution with these services. But what cloud architect does, he or she actually creates the public cloud for the client. It's very actually high level concept of the cloud. You have to know networking and everything, like how a network in the cloud, private cloud happens. We basically give spine leaf architectural network model. Then we have Tor switch and everything. How we are going to segregate the management traffic with the user traffic. It's a very large concept. So this is one of the carrier cloud architect. Then third comes the DevOps part. Now this is actually huge part. Like you can know Kubernetes, Skates, Docker. Then you have to know if I think I'm trying to say that DevOps has many paths, and you can select one of them. Like you can become Kubernetes administrator or Docker. Then you can run Ansible, which is the software that helps you automate your application. Then we have Terraform, which helps you automate Terraform, which helps you automate the infrastructure, the cloud infrastructure itself. Okay, infra itself. Then we have CI/CD pipeline. That means making our uh, developers' life easy to build and deploy and test the application more efficiently and more quickly, the CI/CD pipeline. So these are the parts of DevOps. Then we also have the SaaS, SaaS and IaaS based solution. So just I told you that okay, now you want to get into a cloud, you want to create a career, you can start from a SaaS solution like let's say Google Workspace. Okay, it's an organization maintaining software. There are other ERP, I think SAP HANA, SAP, some of the ERP and CRM softwares, client management software, enterprise management software. These are cloud-based software. You can learn any complex, these are some complex software from SaaS products, software as a service product. So you can learn any SaaS product and get into cloud. Like there are other products like MS365, Microsoft 365. So these are some of the SaaS products. Then for the PaaS product, you can learn about the RDS. That means the relational database service that we have, like the MySQL service or PostgreSQL or NoSQL or GaussDB. There are many platform as a service. Then for infrastructure, just to Terraform. Then we have cloud container engines like I think Google has what GKE, Google Kubernetes engine. Actually, Google is the first one which brought the Kubernetes term on the cloud on the market. I think it was in 2016. Then AW has I think EKS, Azure has AKS. So these are the some infrastructure service solution. Then we have in the cloud platform engineering. Okay, platform engineering is basically the platform. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay, for platform engineering, it's basically Terraform. Okay, it's what it's hyping about today's right now. What Terraform does, if I give you the simple overview, it actually helps you automate a cloud platform. Let's say for the GCP, okay, Google Cloud Platform. Your client comes and says that, like, I think last month I did a project. So this project I had a client. They were hosting it. A hackathon project. So we had like 1,200 participants. Okay, so I had to create 1,200 bucket. Bucket means where they will put their files. So I had to create 1,200 buckets, and I also had to give some policy that one user cannot access the other user's bucket. So if I manually do this on a cloud service, on a cloud platform, it will take me a long time. But what I did, I used Terraform. I just called the open APIs. I integrated with Terraform. I gave the access key and the secret key of my cloud platform, and I ran the code for creating 1200 buckets. So it gave me, I think, under a minute. It took a minute to deploy all the buckets, and then I also, generated the 1200 policies as well for each of the bucket. Then I just had to, mm, associate the policy with the bucket. That's all. It took me, I think, 2 days to complete this project. My whole team did that. But if I did that manually, it would have taken me a long time. So that's how Terraform comes in play. Other than that, if your, a clients want to deploy a big project, like let's say your container service, your container service, let's say Kubernetes service, you want to deploy it. You are not just deploying a container service itself. You will have to deploy VPC, subnet. You will have to deploy NAT gateway, internet gateway as well. Then gateway endpoint, interface endpoint. Many other services will be integrated as well. If just by hand you pick one by one and you deploy the services, it will be a very hassle. So you need to learn Terraform. It's a very good platform. If you're striving to, become a DevOps engineer, you should definitely learn Terraform, and you can also learn the fundamental of DevOps and fundamental of Kubernetes, Docker, and other things as well. But I will recommend you to start with Kubernetes first, and then just study about the fundamental services, like I have told you just ago that earlier, that all the underlying infrastructure are the same for all the services, but the cloud service providers that we have, they sell these services under different name, but the structures are same. So you just have to know that what service that you should use to give a solution. You learn about that, you study. There are many free videos on YouTube, on Udemy, and we have great documentation in CSP's websites as well. You can try them as well. So this was all from me. Thank you for joining today's session. I will get to. I hope I will see you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you so
Shamil.
much, Shamil. This is a wonderful presentation.
We have learned
We
a
have
lot.
learned a lot.
And
And
is there any
is there
question
any questions
for
for
Shamil from
Shamil
anyone?
from anyone?
Yeah, you can ask me. If you have any question, I will try to clarify that.
You guys
You
can
guys
ask
can
from
ask from
audible, or you
Audible,
guys
or you
can
guys
write
can
question
write
in
your
the chat
question in the
box.
chat box.
Don't worry, guys. I'm just, you can think me as your friend. You can ask me whatever question. You just shoot at me. I will try to clear your confusion. There are no any dumb question. There are no dumb question. You can ask anything. If you want to start your career on cloud, how you are going to start, what providers you want to, start with is basically up to you. You can start with any providers. Like for myself, I started with Microsoft Azure. Then after that, I learned about GCP, then AWS, then there's Huawei Cloud, other services as well. It's basically up to you. You just have to, take the leap.
If there's no
If there's
questions,
no
we can
questions, we
turn
can
our
turn
camera
on our
and
camera
take a
and we
snap
will take a snap
of our
of
today's
our
workshop.
today's workshop.
Can we all turn
Can we
our
all turn
camera,
our
please?
camera, please?
I think everybody is shy.
Ridwan,
Ridwan, Ibrahim,
Arnadine. Can
Arnadine.
you guys please
Can
turn
you
on
guys please
your
turn
camera?
on your camera?
Where Ridwan is
Where
also
Ridwan is
a
also a
leader from
leader
Microsoft.
from Microsoft Community University of the People.
Ah, he just buttered me up.